is Tim McKenna live on the Elder Walk. We're here today to promote Elder Spirit and raise money so people who can't afford to go to Elder can go to Elder. Also, some of the money goes to local charities. The entire school is walking and school spirit is high. Matt, how do you feel about the walk today?
Oh, it's kind of cold, but I think we're doing all right so far.
Dogs rule.
We rule!
Why are you walking today?
To raise money for Elder. That's
Okay, thanks.
I agree with you. Dogs forever!
We're here today with the Walk for Elder with Mr. Neffley and some Elder students. Do you feel that this promotes school spirit?
Yes, I do. It also helps the traffic flow. We're here on the corner here, Glenway and Rapid Run, counting the cars. We're going to change the light sequence for the early morning traffic.
We might note that Mr. Neffley is the school comedian also. We're here today for the Walk with Elder. We're here with Senior Dan Rowley. Dan, what do you have to say about the walk today?
It's a bit cold out here, that's what I got to say.
Well, by all means, as you can see with the car, Coach Fed's firing everybody up with the before and after effect. I think it gives everybody a chance to be a part of the walk and participate in special activities.
They primed it, but hey, sand it.
It's good, Cal. We're going to have to do this.
Mr. Whitting, pointing the way for the Elder community. Why aren't you guys walking? Say something.
Well, these legs right here are all messed up.
Right, man.
Look at this knee.
They're tired. We're here with Rick Over and Tom Stratman, the first two guys done with the walk. How'd you guys get done so fast?
Well, we just ran all the way, man. We just kept an easy pace and just kept on going. We were done in an hour and 40 minutes.
Are we ready?
And when you're ready, Rick. We're here today on the Walk for Elder with Assistant Principal Mr. Otten. Mr. Otten, what is the purpose of the Walk for Elder?
Raise money for needy students.
How do you raise money for the school?
The students go out and get pledges on a per-kilometer basis, and then they go collect the money when they're done with the walk.
Do you feel that this raises school spirit?
I sure do. Look at everybody today. Everybody's purple. They're all waving. We're all having a good time.
All right, you heard it from Mr. Otten.
Give me an A. A. Give me an L. L. Give me a D. D. Give me an A. A. Give me an R. R. Loud. Louder. Louder.
Mr. Honold.
Just a few moments here and kind of recap the athletic season, the sports season for 86-87. We bring the Yankee and the GCL All Sports Trophy back to Elder. We haven't had that for 3 years, and that, of course, is the Enquire Trophy that kind of signifies the best all-around sports program in the city, and we're very happy to have that. So we wound up with 5 GCL championships. We won the GCL in soccer, cross-country, wrestling, track, and baseball. We brought home district championship trophies in cross-country, wrestling, tennis, track, and baseball. So all in all, a very successful year. Congratulations to all the coaches. They do an outstanding job for Elder. We're blessed with good coaches. And of course, the athletes themselves are to be congratulated for their efforts. And of course, the entire student body. We, as you know, pride ourselves on the fact that we're all in this together. We win together, we lose together. So I don't think we could ask for a better year in sports overall. I think it was just a very successful year. And as I end this, hopefully, we've got tennis players going to state. We have track members going to state, and hopefully we'll have a baseball team going to state. So that would be icing on the cake for a very exceptional sports year at Elder.
Cross-country record was exceptional. We won the Early Bird Invitational 16-0 over Roger Bacon, who did not finish. The Lakota Fall Classic, we were able to place first. We also placed first in the Roger Bacon Green Hills Invitational. Elder was able to place second in the Tiffin Cross-Country Carnival and came back to place first in the Covington Catholic Invitational. At Malone College, we placed third out of 31 teams, and Elder, in its own Father Rudy Invitational, placed first out of 13 teams. In the GCL Championships, we were able to place first and place second in the Cincinnati districts. In the Southwest Regional Competition, we placed first. In the Ohio State Championship, we also placed first. This was able to give us state champs and the free day. And cross-country awards went to Tom Schweinberg and Scott Ritter. They received the captain's awards. The most valuable player was Dan Dahl. Most improved also went to Tom Schweinberg. And the Mr. Zip award went to Paul Casillas.
87 Elder soccer team went to Dave Lacaputo and Jim Shiper for captains. Jim Shiper also received the Most Valuable Player Award. Most Improved Player was Chris Reed. Mr. Panther Award went to Dave Lacaputo, and the Mr. Zip Award went to Glenn Amon.
Season with 3 wins and 7 losses. They started off their season with a loss to Western Hills 17-15. They then defeated Woodward by a point 14-13. They then lost to Lima Senior 27-21, Dayton Dunbar 15-9, Dayton Ulster 21-0, and St. Xavier 35-14. We then defeated LaSalle 14-6, lost to Moeller 48-7, came back to defeat Roger Bacon 21-7, and lost to Oak Hills in the season finale 18-0. Awards went to Mike Bockhorst, Jim Flowers, and John Search for captains. Most valuable players went to Tommy Meyer and Jeff Blay. Best offensive back was Tom Meyer. Best offensive lineman was Jim Flowers. Best defensive backs were Jim Hilvert and Dan Mullen. Best defensive lineman was Kelly McMahon. Most improved went to Mike O'Connor and Dave Ratterman. Mr. Zip went to Mike Bockhorst, and Mr. Panther went to Matt Durger.
Golf team finished off their season with 6 wins and 10 losses. They began the season with 2 defeats, one to Indian Hill 169-175 and the other to Alter 163-170. They then tied LaSalle at 165 and defeated Purcell Marion 164-168. They went on to beat Coleraine 184-222, then were defeated by Wyoming 184-181, Oak Hills 157-185, Moeller 175-177, and St. Xavier 168-181. They then defeated Roger Bacon 162-167, but were beaten by Moeller 162-171 and LaSalle 174-176. They then defeated Purcell 169-175, but were beaten by Roger Bacon 157-159 and St. Xavier 166-172. They finished off their season with a 181-259 defeat of Westside. In the district tournament, they placed 9th. Golf banquet, Elder's top strokers were given the following awards. Captain's awards went to John Jenkins and George Schaefer. Most valuable player was George Schaefer. Most improved was John Jenkins. and the Mr. Panther Award went to Brad Simonson and Mike Amon. The GCL All-Stars this year were George Schaefer, who made first team. Mike Amon got the honorable mention, and Brad Simonson also earned the honorable mention.
'87 basketball team finished its season with 12 wins and 8 losses. We started off the season with 4 straight victories, beginning with a 68-45 win over Coleraine. We then defeated Aiken 68-60, Dayton Chaminade 58-47, and LaSalle 69-49. We then lost to Roger Bacon 72-59, came back to beat Oak Hill 62-54. We then lost 6 straight, beginning with a 6 overtime loss to Cleveland St. Joseph's 94-90. We then lost to Newport Catholic 69-60, Purcell 69-53, St. Xavier 63-55, Moeller 72-63, and finally Woodward beat us 72-45. We then came back to win 4 straight. We beat Purcell 63-59, LaSalle 54-38, and Roger Bacon 53-50. We then lost in overtime to Princeton 67-62. We then beat St. X 58-53. We beat McNicholas 65-47 and lost to Moeller in overtime 65-63. In the Cincinnati sectional tournament, we defeated Hughes 58-50, Milford 57-36, and lost to St. Xavier 49-44. Awards went to Jeff Blay and Rob Englehart for captains. Most valuable player also went to Jeff Blay. Most improved went to Tim Kessling. Rob Englehart won the Mr. Zip Award. Best defensive player and best free throw percentage went to Kevin Klingenbeck. The Take Charge Award went to Jim Schaefer, along with the Mr. Panther Award. GCL All-Stars from Elder were Jeff Blay, first team, Tim Kessling, second team, Kevin Klingenbeck, third team, and Jim Schaefer, honorable mention.
Looking at the 86-87 swimming record, Elder started out with a win over Walnut Hills, 51-25, and they also won against LaSalle at 48-35. They had a loss against Sycamore, 82-47, and we also lost to Oak Hills, 43-39. And in a tri-meet, we lost to Moeller and X. In the meet results, at the Anderson Relays, we were 3rd of 9. In the Sycamore Invitational, we were 7th of 9. And we beat Anderson 89-80. The sectionals, we were 2nd of 14. In the districts, we were 13th of 26. We ended up with a dual record of 4-3. Swimming awards went to Bob Kiffmeyer and Mike Wenner, and they got the captain's awards. Bob Kiffmeyer also got the most valuable. Nen Berkemeyer received most improved. Mr. Panther went to Mike Wenner, and Mr. Zip Award was Bob Kiffmeyer. Bob Kiffmeyer was also a state qualifier. He placed 16th.
One. 86-87 varsity wrestling team ended the season with a 6-1 record. We had 5 consecutive wins in a row. The first one was a 36-21 defeat over St. Xavier, 43-30 over Lakota. We then beat Oak Hills 32-28, LaSalle 34-16, and the 5th consecutive win, 43-14 over Moeller. Our only loss of the year was to Fairfield, and we lost 27-35. And the final win of the year was 42-24 over Sycamore. Through the tournaments this year, we had the Holiday Classic, where we placed 3rd out of 18. In the Dayton Carroll tournament, we placed 1st of 8. And we placed 8th of 26 teams in the All-Catholic tournament this year. And in GCL, we placed 1st of 6 teams, which made us the GCL champs of 1986-87. In districts, we placed 1st of 14, and in regionals, we placed 3rd of 60. We had 2 state placers this year. We had Chris Klum, who qualified 5th, and Jeff Heidemann, who qualified in 6th. 86-87 Wrestling Awards this year went to Chris Klum, Dan Mullen, and Jeff Heidemann for the Captain's Awards, and those 3 also won the Most Valuable Wrestlers this year. Ron Whittick pulled out the Most Improved Wrestler, and the most takedowns for the year was 65 with Jeff Heidemann. He also had the most pins with 20. The Mr. Zip Award went to Chris Klum. Ron Whittick also pulled out the Mr. Panther Award. And Chris Klum also pulled out Iron Man Award. The 1986-87 baseball season record went as follows. Started off with a win against Anderson, 5-0. We then had 2 losses in a row, one to Bloomington North, 2-1, and one to Bloomington South, 8-0. We then made a comeback of 10 consecutive wins. First one over LaSalle, 9-3. St. Xavier, 2-1. We then beat Toledo St. John, 6-0, and also 17-6. We then beat Moeller 9-5, Western Hills 4-1, Roger Bacon 7-5, Purcell Marion 3-1, LaSalle 9-4, and Middletown 8-1. We then ended the season with a tie against St. Xavier 4-4. Baseball awards this year went to Eddie Walters, Kevin Klingenbeck, and Mike Losandro for the Captain's Awards. J.P. Carley won the 3 Sport Award this year. Best defensive players this year were Tony Fiorino, Mike Losandro, Kevin Klingenbeck, and Eddie Walters. Scott Klingenbeck and Keith Scherer were voted Best Pitchers of the Year. Mr. Zip Awards went to Brian Davis and Mike Romalia, and the most improved players were Brian Davis and Tony Fiorino.
1986-87 Elder tennis team's record is as followed. St. Xavier they lost to 4-1. They beat Harrison 5-0. They lost again for the second time to St. Xavier 5-0. Elder then went on a 5-game winning streak, winning to Roger Bacon 5-0, over Anderson 3-2, over Moeller 5-0, over Purcell Marion 5-0, and Roger Bacon 5-0. The Elder tennis team then traveled to Walnut Hills and had a 5-0 loss, but then came back with another 6-game winning streak. Elder won 3-2 over Moeller, 5-0 over Oak Hills, 5-0 over LaSalle. They beat Kettering Alter 3-2, beat Purcell Marion 5-0, and beat Western Hills 5-0. The Elder had 2 more matches and won against McNick 5-0 and LaSalle to 5-0. Elder then traveled to Indian Hill and lost 4-1. And then the last 2 games of the season were wins over Turpin 3-2, and Elder beat Princeton 2-0. The awards for the 1986-87 varsity tennis team is as follows. Captain's awards go to Jeff Fulweiler and Tom Strotman. Most valuable player went to Ken Grimm. Most improved player went to Eric Toth. The Mr. Ziv award went to Jeff Fulweiler. The Good Sportsmanship award went to Eric Toth.
I get around you.
This year's 1986-87 Elder track team finished as GCL champs. They began their season with a victory over Mount Healthy and Coleraine, beating them both 102 to 33 to 32. They then went on to beat Anderson 93.5 to 38.5. In the Lakota relays, they finished second out of 7. In the Centerville relays, they finished second out of 15. They then went on to defeat LaSalle 76 to 47, to defeat Moeller and Purcell 100 to 49 to 18, and to defeat Campbell County and Highlands 86 to 43 to 41. In the Miami Ritter Invitational, they finished second out of 12. In the Best of the West tournament, they were first out of 6, and in the GCL Championship, they were first of 6 teams, and they are the GCL champs. These awards were given to the following members of the 1986-87 track team. For the Captain's Awards, Paul Casillas, Joe Frondorf, Jim Flowers, and Frank Sabato. The most valuable player went to Joe Frondorf. The most improved player went to Bill Bernard. Mr. Zip Award went to Paul Casillas. The outstanding field performer this year was Jim Flowers. The outstanding spirit performer was Frank Sabato. And the outstanding distance performer was Dan Dahl.
Let's go take a look.
Okay, we hope you enjoyed today's preview, and for that matter, all the previews this year. We had a lot of fun doing it, and we did it for you, the students. You know, as I look at Elder and being a member of the class of '87, this year's rapidly drawing to a close. I think one thing that can be said is We leave Elder, but Elder never leaves us. The things we learn here we carry on to later life. At the beginning of the year, a lot of teachers and alumni said, "What's wrong with Elder? Why can't you make Elder like it used to be?" Well, the class of '87 all year has tried to make a new Elder. This isn't 1926 or 1965 or 78. This is 1987. We're trying to instill a new pride, a new spirit, a new camaraderie, the things that make Elder great. And we challenge the class of '88, '89, and '90 to continue that spirit and to blaze a way to the new Elder, to make Elder what you want it to be. I guess as a final message, a thing that could sum up what a man of Elder is and what Elder is all about and the pride that we have would be, you know, all the other schools have a Beat Elder jersey, or We Beat Elder, or Elder's this. We don't say anything about other schools. Our jerseys are purple, and they say Elder. Kind of says it all. Have a good weekend.
All my seniors are great. They're wonderful.
As we take a look at some of the sites around Elder one more time, let's check out some professional sports results in 1987. In the Super Bowl, the New York Giants were winners over the Denver Broncos. The New York Mets defeated the Boston Red Sox in the World Series. The NBA champions were the LA Lakers over the Boston championship was won by Pat Cash, and Yvonne Lendl took the French Open and the U.S. Open.